the Women Unleashed podcast. Join us as we share with you the fun, confronting, wild, fucked up, epic, and raw side of being a woman in today's world. Nothing is off limits. Allow yourself to be inspired to be unleashed.
We acknowledge that we are recording our podcast on the traditional country of the Turrbal and Yagara people and pay respect to their elders past and present. We acknowledge and respect their continuing culture and contribution they make to this community.
Welcome back to the Women Unleashed podcast, and for part 2 of 2 with Janeen Vosper, a personal brand authority specialist and all-round inspirational woman. Enjoy.
You know, we all need to have those peers around us, and I run a mastermind group, but I also had a mastermind group that I was part of, and that's so important to have that around you, have people that you meet with regularly, that you are going to get that. You know, it's not just the support. Sometimes you need a rock who will give you the truth as well.
Yes, the real straight. Here you go, whether you like it or not. Yeah. And I encourage everyone to do that, is to have some form of circle of support that is with peers as well, not customers, not necessarily friends, but with peers who are all got something to bring to the table, and recognizing how you can coordinate and work well. And look, you know, a couple of those people I've been friends with, but they also was aware that they would be a good fit for that particular group. Mastermind. So let's get into the mastermind, actually, because I was recently reading a book by Dan Pena, and he was giving his view on how to go about setting up a mastermind or being a part of one. Did you set your own mastermind up, or been a part of other ones, or both?
No, I set the one up that I was a member of. Not at the moment. We haven't done that for a little while. And we would just have a monthly meeting where we would all meet and online, because a couple of them weren't based locally, and we would have 20 minutes each timed out, that we would have that opportunity to talk about some wins that we've had and some things that have challenged us, and then offer time for feedback for everyone to come in and offer suggestions, ideas, and also to give the person a pat on the back.
Yep. Okay. And that all happened within the 20 minutes for each person? Or it was 20 minutes and then, okay, cool.
It happened within the 20 minutes for each person. And look, sometimes someone might have needed a little bit more, and other people going, look, there's not a lot for me to share this month, so someone else can take a bit of my time. Also, you know, it's that flexibility on that. But having it timed makes a difference. And the mastermind that I run, it's a little bit different. It's a monthly breakfast, and it opens to visitors each time, so it's not a set group. And I offer a form of training or coaching for the first 30 minutes, whatever that might be, on how to build sales funnels, let's say, as an example. And then I have a random selection with playing cards, and people will go away in groups of 2 or 3, and they've all got 8 or 10 minutes each to talk about that particular subject and how they might apply that. We work on a 90-day plan all the time, so we're constantly upgrading the 90-day plan, and how that learning will help them achieve the results that they have put down for themselves in that 90-day plan. It's a different space, but what I found is the people who attend regularly have got to know each other's businesses really well, and then they can offer some highly valuable feedback and support to the others.
Very cool. I like it. Yeah, that's awesome. And how, going back to the first type of mastermind, like that you set up, how did you identify the people that you wanted to be in it? What was the process of like approaching people? And
again, looking for peers, and
so like people that are like doing business.
I don't want to say equal, but in an equal sort of space in business.
Yeah,
was what we were looking for.
Yeah, and so I just want to make this like really land for our listeners. Like you're looking at yourself going, okay, this is what I'm up to now, and this is where I want to be. And then you're looking out and going, okay, where are the people that are up to what I'm up to? And,
yes,
wanting to go in a particular direction. Is that how you sort of go out there?
Very much so. People? Very well explained. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then, first going back to my friend base and my connections through different meetups and networking events and things, and finding people from there who, and there was a couple of people that came in originally, and we were meeting in person originally until one of the ladies moved to Alice Springs, and that was a little bit of a trick. And then it didn't fit, and she recognised it didn't fit for her, and it didn't fit for us as well. It was just and it was nothing wrong. It just wasn't fitting in as well.
Yep.
And then someone moved into full-time employment, so that changed that dynamic. And just keeping it, with it was all women, and women in sole traders in their own business, but a variety of businesses, and just recognising who's got what to bring to the table. We found there were some people that were very much more in that learning phase rather than what they had to bring to the table as well.
Yeah, okay.
But they recognised that they didn't fit either. So it's not just something that says this will work. It's you want to be challenged by people. You want to have the opportunity to share your knowledge and learning, and have it, an even balance, so we're all growing.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's really, really important. Really important. And what's the most hard to hear or hard to receive advice or feedback that you've received from someone in one of your mastermind groups to you about?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I do like to be challenged, and I think we automatically come up with an automatic going, what? How dare you? And it's just a trigger,
Yep.
That's not so. I think I don't want to talk about sort of individual ideas, because that's not really, there's lots of ideas you get challenged on. But it's that sense of, I put so much effort into this, and now you're challenging me to say that's not the best way to go, or that's probably not going to work, or you probably wasted time. I think that's the space, rather than I'll challenge you on this. It's that, and then do we continue moving in that direction, or do we pay attention to the advice or the perspective that we receive?
Okay, so after you've invested a lot of time into something, if someone challenges you and says, like, is that really, like, the best way to go about it?
Yeah.
That's probably the most challenging thing for you to hear.
I think so. I definitely think that is, just like, I've been doing this, and this is how it is. And I've learned to ask a lot more questions and do, I use a lot of intuition as well, and check out with the universe what's the best way to go, and just throw it out there and see what sort of works and doesn't work.
And what does that look like when you like throw it out to the universe, or check it out, or use your intuition?
What does it look like? It looks like, first of all, me usually brainstorming an idea, and then seeing how easy it flows. If it flows really easy, it tends to be
like to work on it, or
yeah.
Yep.
So if I'm putting together for an example, I am a professional speaking coach, a trainer. I'm a sales trainer. That's my main base, is that sales training, but it's all about having a voice to influence people. So both of those combined. But as well as being creative, I'm also, I can just help people pull out their purpose and mission and their goals and do that part of it as well. And I help people set up their LinkedIn profile. So that's, and other social media and how to plan all that. So you pop all that together. It's sort of, it's a lot of different things. And that's been something that I've gone and worked with marketing people to try and pull it all together and go, what is this if I had to just say it's one thing? And I was traveling to the Cape last year away from the space. And that's what you need to do, is to get away from what you're doing. And I've gone, what I'm doing is helping their people with their personal brand authority. They can have a conversation. They can make a sale. They've got their social media, their LinkedIn in particular, set up well that people can find them. They've got their goals set down. They know how to work towards achieving what they want, blah, blah, blah. There's all those components tied up with a little bow. It's about them. It's about the business owner. There's things that are important. Social media is important. Your colors are important. Your branding colors, all of that is important. But it's about you and how you can deliver the best message possible. And you can pitch something in 40 seconds or 3 minutes or an hour, whatever you've got, so people understand that how you can help them and then why they want to work for you. That's what I do.
Wow. Drop the mic, Janeen. All of that is so important. Like, I've met people and they show up incredibly, and then I try and find them on LinkedIn or like Instagram, or if I find them on two places, and I swear they're like different people.
Yeah.
Like from the person I met. So we've got 3 identities running the show, and it's just like a mess. So it's so important. So important.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. And that's really interesting, showing up across your different platforms. And, I challenge things. I teach people to speak out with their voice. And you'll find on my personal social media that I challenge ideas, challenge governments, challenge different things that are out there, because if we just accept everything that's thrown at us, then we need to be a lot more curious and find out more things. And I had people say to me, you'll lose business because you're doing that. And I have, but I've also gained a lot more business because of that honesty and openness. People don't have to agree with the things that I say and do, but they do recognize that being true and authentic to yourself is the first place to start when you're wanting to build your brand. And,
sorry, I was going to say, and you want to work with those kinds of people, right? Rather than...
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love working with people who are curious, people who are brave and have courage to do things, again, that they don't believe is possible. That's the space I want to work in, not people who are, just think that they know it all already. I mean, I still have coaches. As I said, I've moved into this new thing and I've got coaches here. I talk to people about public speaking a lot, and people go, I'm a good speaker, I've done that. And I'm like, I've just heard you. I don't say this. It's in my head. Fortunately, that's
yeah. The little voice in your head is saying,
I've just heard you. No, you're not. And I am in the position where I get feedback on how I present regularly, because that's the way I want to improve. I'm a good speaker when it comes to presenting. I'm a great coach when it comes to helping other people become good speakers. I've been part of a not-for-profit public speaking group for 20 years and coached a couple of international winners and represented Australia myself. No, it used to be called Toastmistress clubs.
Ooh,
it's now called Power Talk.
Power Talk. Okay, I used to be part of a Toastmasters club probably about 10 years ago. I loved it. It was awesome.
I highly recommend anyone who wants, because you have to practice regularly and you have to get feedback, and that's an important factor. And I do a lot of mentoring, a lot of training within it. I just, again, enjoy providing skill-based to other people. But it's that getting feedback is so important, and but being able to recognize that that you can learn, you can continually learn, And I had a lady the other day, it was someone in the background, I'm sure, and she had ready to join into my 3-month brand program, and had already paid the deposit. And then she said, "Oh, I don't need sales training. I did a Cert 3 in business a few years ago." Okay. Have you worked at the coalface to learn, the skills on building relationships, building rapport, how to get your message across, how to get people to actually say yes, and so on. But it was just thinking, and that's not the people I want to work with. I don't want to work with the people who, I don't want to force people into anything, and I don't want to work with people who are just going, I've got those skills, I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again and getting the same results. I'll do that rather than getting information. And it doesn't matter whether it's me or any other coach. Whatever you need, and that's what I used to do. So what do I need to learn this year? When I spent the whole year training, I needed to learn a lot more about being visibly digitally. And that was, again, not my scope of things. And it broke my brain a couple of times learning. And I think there's a few things going to do the same.
Well, you show up incredibly. Like, your website is phenomenal. The content on there, even your LinkedIn, it's really fantastic. And I encourage anyone to actually jump onto your LinkedIn or your website, which is, I think your website's JaneenVosper.com.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. And Janeen spelled correctly.
Yes. Oh, Janeen.
People will see it when they see the course notes.
Yes, they will. Now, I think I've got about 3 closing questions that I have to ask. Who are do you work with predominantly males or females, or it's a mix of just the people that really want to take themselves on, like you just said?
It's probably 90% females, but I do go in and so I work with sole traders, and I'd say 90% of the sole traders I work with are women.
Okay.
But I also go into business government departments, professional offices, and run training, and that can be 50-50.
Okay.
Just the diversity in the training. I ran some communication training across the generations for a hardware store recently, and it was mostly men in that. Yeah. And then I ran how to network effectively for a bank. And I ran sales training for a community newspaper. So it's all around communication, but it's diverse in those fields. But depending on the market, definitely the We Are Women podcast, the We Are Women Mastermind, We Are Women Facebook group, all of those are very much focused on the women sole traders.
Yeah, fantastic. And what is the most common obstacle that the women that you work with come across or up against, or that you are coaching them around?
The belief in themselves, that the imposter syndrome it's out there, and there's that voice that a lot of us have, that just says that why do you think you're good enough to be out there as a marketing person when there's huge marketing firms that could probably do better, or whatever you're doing? There's people that definitely have that judgment on themselves, and it's trying to avoid. I usually suggest that you give that voice a funny voice. Yeah. So if it's a Donald Duck or something like that, it's, if you hear it, then go, oh, let me replay that again, but in a strange voice. It doesn't usually have the same impact.
Yeah, it reduces the significance or influence that it has over your actions and experience of life.
It holds so many people back, and we don't want to get to the end of our 125 years and think about what we've actually. That's all I've ever wanted on my thing, on my not gravestone, but my plaque, is that she never missed out on a thing. That's what I want on that.
Oh, I love that. I so love that, Janeen. Okay, well, this is the final question. The Women Unleashed podcast is coming up to our first year anniversary at the end of March. Thank you so much. I've had a really great time producing this podcast, and so has Taylor. And she's with her little baby Sophia that she had, I think, on the 13th of February now.
Okay. A new one, a new package in the world.
Yes, a new little package in the world. What would you like us to know or take away as we continue into our second year of the Women Unleashed podcast?
For you personally, keep doing what you're doing. I think every opportunity to share information and from yourself and from your guests is the more that people can hear ideas and hear things that might just challenge the way that they're thinking and change their perspectives is so vital. Because our beliefs and our thoughts are just that. It's like the money thing. They're not ours. They are ours, but they're just ours. They're not facts. They're just what we think. So what you're doing is amazing to be able to enable people to continue to do that. So for you, definitely, that's what I just say, keep going. And I know, the other things that you've got in the realm of, your reality and as an Olympian and things like that. I think that is just absolutely brilliant. And I'm in awe of the amount of effort that I know that it takes to achieve those results. So keep it up. Keep believing in yourself in doing that. And for all the listeners, that's the thing. It's just keep believing that, there's that in the front. You can probably see in my background, I've got my two books there. One is called Being Unstoppable and the other one is Good Girls Do Sell. And I've got in the beginning of the first book that poem by Marion, what's the name? There you go, let me tell you.
You can take your time to get it out if you like.
So, it was repeated by Nelson Mandela, but it talks, just about that light and who are you not to show that light. And I'm looking at it, and this one is You Can Do Anything, and that's the one that's in the front of my book, but it must be the other ones in Being Unstoppable, and it's about, who are you not to show it? How dare you? And that's one of the things when I do sales training, I do the same thing as how dare you not tell people about your product? How dare you hide behind fear of not making a phone call because you can change someone's life with your service or product? How dare you? And that's really what I would love people to take about is that what you're letting other people down if you don't continue your podcast. You're letting other people down if you don't share what you've got to offer with the world.
Thank you, Janeen. That's really beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. It's been just wonderful sharing that and reminiscing some stories as well. So cool.
Yeah, fantastic.
Wish me luck with the crypto.
Yes, all the best with the crypto. We'll have to have you on in another year and see how you are, and perhaps you can teach us a few things about crypto.
That'd be interesting.
Well, thank you all for listening today, and I hope you got a lot out of listening to Janeen and I have a conversation by the water cooler. And look, our goal is to become the #1 women's empowerment podcast in Australia. So please, share this podcast, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, leave a 5-star rating and a review, and share what you got out of this podcast with the women in your life. Bye for now.